In this video, we're going to be finding the vertex, intercepts, and the axis of symmetry from the graph of a parabola. Okay, so let's keep in mind that the axis of symmetry is a line. That's this line right here. So it's going to be a line on these that go through a point on the x-axis. So on this particular problem, it's going through x equals 1. So x equals 1 would be the axis of symmetry. Okay, and the equation of the axis of symmetry will always be x equals a number. Okay, so it's always going to be in that form. X is equal to a number. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these other things on here. We've got some x-intercepts. That's where we cross the x-axis. Okay, there's also known as solutions. Another way of writing them is zeros and roots. These are all names for where you cross the x-axis on a graph. Okay, got your y-intercept right here, which is sometimes you're going to be asked for, and your vertex can be the lowest or the highest point, and the vertex is going to be an actual point. So this one, the vertex would be 1 on the x-axis and then -4 on the y. So the vertex would be 1, -4. Okay, the axis of symmetry on this one would be x is equal to 1. The intercepts, these x-intercepts up here, would be x is equal to -1 and x is equal to 1, 2, 3. Okay, and your y-intercept would be y is equal to -3. Okay, so you can tell all that just from looking at the graph. Now let's do one that doesn't have it written out for us. Okay, let's answer a few questions about this. So does the parabola open upward or downward? Okay, well, if it looks like this, it's opening up. Okay, if it looks the other way, if it's going like this, it's opening downward. So we would say that this one is opening upward because it's the inside of it is facing up. Okay, so it's opening upward. What is the vertex? Remember that this is an x and a y, so let's go find the x first. It's right here at -2 on the x, so that's -2. And then it's that's the lowest point on the y-axis there. What is that? -9. Okay, so that's our vertex right there at this point right here. Okay, find the intercepts, both the x and the y intercepts. Make sure to do the following. If there's more than one, separate them with a comma, and if there's none, we'll write none. Okay, so the x-intercepts is where we cross the x-axis. So it'll be x is equal to, let's see, it crosses right here at x equals 4, and also crosses right here at -8. The y-intercept on this one is going to be where we cross the y-axis. That is y is equal to -8. Okay, and then finally the axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry is going to be the x-coordinate of the vertex. Okay, so this one right here, the x-coordinate of the vertex, that's always going to be the axis of symmetry that creates the line in the middle in which symmetry happens. Okay, so it's going to be the x-coordinate, which will be x is equal to -2. Okay. Okay, one more example on this. So we've got a parabola that's facing downward this time because the inside of it right here opens downward. So we would say downward. And the vertex is this point right here. It's the highest point of this graph, so that's -2 on the x. And it looks like -3 on the y. Okay, and keep in mind that the x part of the vertex is your axis of symmetry, so we can skip down to this next question and say, well, that's x is equal to -2 because it's the x portion of the vertex. Okay, and then finally find the x and y intercepts. Okay, so here's the x-axis. Doesn't look like this graph is going to cross this x-axis, so none on that. And then the y-intercepts, it looks like we cross right here, and that looks to be at about -7. So y is equal to -7.